This horrifying story is exactly why you need to be extremely careful when going into any form of business transactions with strangers. The crazy thing about this case is that it could happen to anyone, regardless of whether you're a business owner or not, as long as money is involved. What started as a simple currency exchange request would end with the discovery of 4 dead bodies rotting in a Soakaway pit and a community living in fear of a man they called Mufutau Timileyin Sulaimon, aka Pencil. It was March 14, 2019, when two unsuspecting Bureau de Change operators, Alhaji Yakubu Musa and Alhaji Hassan Umaru, received what seemed like a normal business request. A man named Oluwatosin Olarinwaju contacted them with an offer that sounded too good to pass up. He told them that his relative had just returned from abroad and needed to change $10,000 to Naira. The operators, who ran their business from the Benson area in Ikorodu, Lagos, agreed to meet for the transaction, but what they didn't know was that this innocent business deal was actually a carefully planned trap that had been 6 days in the making. Oluwatosin had been working with a dangerous criminal known as Pencil to set up what could have been a perfect kidnapping scheme, except that they failed to plan for one important aspect that would eventually lead to their downfall. The meeting was supposed to happen at a bank in Ikorodu, but that was just the first lie in a web of deception that would bring tears to the family of the two BDC operators. When the two men arrived on their motorcycle at the trailer park bus stop in Odogunyo, they called Oluwatosin as planned. Little did they know, they were about to walk straight into the hands of some dangerous killers. Pencil had already prepared everything. He directed his personal motorcycle rider to take the operators to a boys' quarters around Odogunyo. By the time Oluwatosin joined them at the location, he found the two BDC operators already lying on the floor with their hands tied up. But here is where the plan got truly twisted. Pencil ordered Oluwatosin to also lie on the floor so that it would look like he was just another victim. He then put on an award-winning performance by pretending to be a thief who had just stormed in on them. He told the operators that the person they came to buy dollars from owed him money and that he and his gang members had come to collect what was theirs. The beating started immediately. Pencil and his accomplices began hitting the operators mercilessly. To make the situation more believable, Oluwatosin also received his share of the beating since the operators knew him personally. The terrified men begged for mercy, promising to give money for their freedom. Pencil instructed the operators to transfer money into an account belonging to someone named Femi, but when he called to check if the payment had gone through, the account holder said no money had arrived. This was where everything changed, from a simple robbery to something much darker. Pencil's mood shifted completely. He became suspicious that Oluwatosin was playing games. Pencil suspected that he was telling the person on the other end not to release the money to him. The criminal issued a deadly ultimatum that if he didn't receive an alert showing the payment by 4:55 p.m., he would kill all three of them. The panic became real at that moment. One of the operators quickly suggested that they should try a different bank account, preferably a GT bank account. That was when Oluwatosin made the crucial mistake that would eventually lead to their downfall. He contacted a nurse who had treated him when he was sick. The nurse agreed to provide her account details in exchange for 100,000 naira, and soon the operator's family members transferred 1.6 million naira into her account. By 8 p.m. that same day, even though the ransom had been paid, Pencil had already decided the operator's fate. Along with his accomplice Kenneth, he tore the operator's clothes and used pieces to cover their mouths. When Oluwatosin asked why they were doing this, Pencil asked if he wanted to teach him his job. The criminal then did something that showed he had planned murder all along. He burnt the operator's clothes, shoes, and phones. His reasoning was chilling. He said he would eliminate them because they could identify Oluwatosin to the police if they were allowed to go free. What happened next would haunt the community for months. Two young scrap scavengers, just 16 and 17 years old, came to the area looking for metal waste. Pencil forced these innocent boys to help transport the bound operators in their cart to an abandoned company nearby. Inside this company was a septic tank filled with water, and this would become the final resting place of the two BDC operators. Pencil had covered the mouths and noses of the two BDC operators with sellotape while their hands remained tied, and they were thrown into the septic tank. One of the operators was already unconscious when they were thrown in, while the other was still breathing. They both drowned in that dark water-filled pit while their killers watched from above. After committing this heinous act, Pencil threatened to eliminate Oluwatosin and the others if they ever spoke about what happened that night. He kept Oluwatosin detained until the next morning. Then, they went to a hotel at 6 a.m., where they stayed until 9 a.m. The next step was collecting their blood money. Pencil instructed Oluwatosin to call the nurse, whose account had received the ransom payment. The criminal then called his motorcycle rider to take Kenneth and Oluwatosin to the woman's place. Since she couldn't withdraw the entire amount at once, she gave them the money in 3 installments. Oluwatosin received 340,000 naira as a share, while his alleged partners, Mayowa and Babatunde, got 20,000 and 50,000 naira, respectively. Kenneth, who claimed he was forced to participate in the crime, received 40,000 naira the next day. When police eventually discovered the abandoned company, they found 2 more decomposing bodies in the same septic tank. These were identified as members of the Aye cult group, who were victims of the ongoing war between the Aye and Eye confraternities. According to the suspects, these cult members had been shot dead by Pencil as part of the violent rivalry between the groups. In a twisted show of dominance, after Pencil eliminated the leader of the Aye cult group, known as Terminator, he took on that name for himself. Back in the homes of the murdered operators, their families grew increasingly worried as days passed without any word. Their phones remained switched off, and the promised release never came. The families had paid the ransom in good faith, not knowing that their loved ones were already dead. The families of the 2 BDC operators had already reported the matter to the police, and the Lagos State Police Commissioner had detailed the Special Anti-Robbery Squad to carry out a thorough investigation. Their breakthrough came when they traced the ransom payment to a GT Bank account belonging to a woman named Oluwafunke. When arrested on March 23, 2019, Oluwafunke admitted to receiving 100,000 naira for allowing her account to be used for the transaction. However, she claimed she was unaware of the circumstances surrounding the transfer of the money. She then revealed Oluwatosin Olarinwaju as the name of the person who had contacted her. The arrest of 40-year-old Oluwatosin, who was originally from Osun State, opened the floodgates. His confession led police to his accomplices, Mayowa Olawumi, known as General, and 26-year-old Babatunde Idris, nicknamed Aloma. However, they were not able to arrest the mastermind of the whole scheme, who was Pencil. During interrogation, the suspects tried to minimize their roles in the murders. Mayowa and Babatunde claimed they were never part of the original discussion to kidnap the operators. They said the fleeing Pencil had ordered them to follow him, and they couldn't refuse because he was feared by everyone in the area. A small drama unfolded during questioning as each suspect tried to blame the others. When Kenneth Ebuka, a 23-year-old electrician, was later arrested in Ogun State, where he had fled, even more details emerged about the night of the murders. Kenneth claimed he had only gone to look for his friend Mayowa and stumbled upon the crime in progress. He said Pencil had pointed a gun at his head when he tried to leave, forcing him to participate as a lookout. Meanwhile, residents of the Dugonyon area had been complaining about a foul smell that pervaded the community for weeks. They had no idea that just meters away from their homes, 4 decomposing bodies lay in a septic tank, creating the horrible stench that made their daily lives unbearable. When SARS operatives finally arrived at the abandoned company, the sight that greeted them was beyond horrific. The bodies were in advanced stages of decomposition, but the 2 BDC operators could still be identified by the sellotape that remained on their mouths and noses. While his accomplices were behind bars, confessing to their crimes, the mastermind, Pencil, remained on the run. The police launched an intensive manhunt for the dangerous criminal who had turned an abandoned company into his personal killing ground. For months, Pencil managed to evade capture, but his luck was about to run out. On June 23, 2019, around 9:10 p.m., police operatives finally traced him to his hideout in the same Odogunyo area where he had committed his crimes. When the SARS team arrived at his hideout, the wanted criminal was ready for war. Instead of surrendering, he opened fire on the officers, leading to a fierce gun battle that would end his reign of terror once and for all. During the shootout, 2 police officers sustained various injuries, but Pencil also took bullets to both legs. All 3 were rushed to the hospital, but Pencil was confirmed dead on arrival, while the injured officers were taken to intensive care, where they responded to treatment. From the scene, police recovered 1 gun with live ammunition and expended ammunition, thereby bringing an end to the search of one of Lagos State's most wanted criminals.
They collect 3 guns from me, so we are 5 in number that very day that do the kidnapping issue. So after that very hour in the night. So we bring them in. When they bring them in, they just tie them sellotape on their hands and their mouth. So that is how they kill them.
I feel bad. I'm not really happy because that's the only dad I have. It's the only one that makes me happy. Every morning that we wake up, we know that someone is missing in our house, which is my dad. Because he take care of us very well. No one can take care of us like him. No one can take care of us like him. I love my dad so much.
The story serves as a warning to anyone conducting business with strangers to always meet in safe public places, verify the identity of people they are dealing with, and also trust their instincts if something feels wrong. If you were the two BDC operators, what would you have done differently in this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories.